morning, good afternoon or good evening, depending on when it is, where you are. Thank you for coming back. I am going to talk today about my progress on my Jasper sweater, and because the last video was really long and I don't want to take your whole life, I'm going to start straight away talking down there, or rather showing you down there what I've been getting up to, and I'm going to talk up here. So I've got lots of kind of progress shots. I haven't finished it yet, but I thought I'd give you a progress so that we can keep in touch. What you're seeing right now down there is cutting out. I cut out all the paper pieces, and it's a PDF pattern, so you have to stick them together and then you have to cut them out, and it's a very long process of writing. But that's what you can watch down there. Back again, hello. So now down there, what you're seeing is me adjusting the back pattern. So I'm still working on the paper pieces, but I'm adjusting them this time. So I'm changing the standard sizes. There's, you know, cutting lines like you get on patterns depending on your body size, but who has a standard body size? It's very rare. And if you find a pattern company that fits your body size, then just make all their patterns, always, forever, and never make anything else, if you want an easy life. I shortened the length because I have a shorter body, so you'll see me cut across the middle and then slip it up and tape it. You'll see me measuring, because I'm measuring against how long the pattern is from the back neck to the bottom. Then you see me truing the seam lines, and what that means is I take my curvy ruler and I look at where the seam lines would have run and I draw the best next fit. Now, what I'm now doing down there is I'm adjusting the sleeve because I have quite short arms. I measure, you'll see me measure from the top of the sleeve down to the bottom, including the cuff, because this pattern has a cuff. So the sleeve length is those two pieces added together. I discovered it was about 8 centimeters too long. So cut across the middle, move it up, tape it, check that I've created the length that I wanted to, and then truing the seam lines with a straight line this time. Next, here what I am doing is I'm cutting out the fabric. Yay, doing something interesting. All the pattern adjustments that we've done before are really important, and they're kind of, I was going to say I enjoy doing them, but to be honest that'd be a big fat lie. I'd love to just cut out a pattern and know that it would be perfect and fit me. But one of the things about sewing is that you want it to fit you, and unlike at a shop where you have to get the size that you're given, or you have to go bigger all over or smaller all over, if you cut a pattern you can make it the right size for you, but you have to work for that. So I can't say I love that process, but I do love the results of that process. So I've done that, and now down there I'm cutting out the fabric, which is slightly more interesting. First thing to say is that there's a lot of pieces in this that you cut on the fold, and as you'll have seen, it's probably already happened now, I didn't fold my fabric exactly in half because you don't have to. It took me a long time to work that out, but you don't have to fold your fabric in half. You need it to be on a fold, but where you fold the fabric is up to you. And if the pieces fit on your, if the pattern pieces fit on your fabric better, folding the fabric only just enough, as I did, as you'll see me do, then you're going to get more fabric. You can choose the pattern placement. So on mine, some of the pattern is kind of a wool digital print of wool knit, and some of it is more of a Hessian digital print, and I had a preference about which I wanted, particularly in the centre front, and so I folded it to make sure that happened. The other thing you will see is lots of kitten help. Thank you, kitten, for it's essential. You have to have a kitten sit on your pattern pieces, otherwise they'll move. You'll see that I'm using a rotary cutter, and those yellow circular things are weights. That's how I prefer to cut because I find it much quicker, and when you're cutting something that's quite slippery and likes to move around, and this fabric is, it's not been an easy sew. A rotary cutter will keep things stiller. So 11 pieces all together for the hooded version of the sweater. And I just thought I'd very quickly show you them, so if you're going to make this, you've got an idea of kind of where you're going. Here are the body pieces, and one of the things that attracted me to making this particular sweater is because there's the side one. So this one in the middle, as you can see, there's a seam there where the front goes to the side, and you can see the underarm curve of the side piece, so it makes it a bit more of a shaped sweater, hooded top, rather than a shapeless kind of boxy thing that doesn't make you look like a woman. Then you've got the arm piece, very recognisable as an arm piece, although it is slightly differently shaped at the top there, because the seam, the underarm seam, ends up lining up with the side seam, I think the back side seam. So there's no central side seam on your body, the seams are slightly to the front and slightly to the back. And so the sleeve has been drafted carefully so that it matches up with that side seam. There's a cuff to it, which will get folded, and that'll be the end. There's a hem band for the front and for the back, and again the reason why they are substantially different sizes is because the side seam of the front actually comes part way around to the back to match up with that side seam of the side panel of the body. Over here there's a pocket front, because it's got kind of a kangaroo pocket in the front of the pattern. Actually there's a piece that I know I've cut. There's a welt piece, because the front pocket has a welt front. I'll show you that when I construct it. And then let's just take a moment to have a look at these crazy shapes. That's the hood. So the one at the top there is the bottom part of the hood, and that's the back of the neck edge there, number 7. And then this kind of oval shape is the top of the hood, which kind of goes on the crown of your head. And then I've never made this before, but I'm assuming this crazy kind of J-shaped piece, upside down J, that's also the hood, and I think that somehow the long bit, I'm assuming, is going to wrap around the neck and sort of become the collar as well. And I'm curious to see where exactly on the head that end bit goes. And you know what, that's where the talent of a pattern cutter comes from. You know, you can draw a lovely fashion picture. Here we go, I'll show you all of them again. You can draw a lovely fashion picture, but my goodness, how do you work out all those shapes, especially when you want to do something interesting in the construction? So yeah, quite excited to get started and seeing how all these flat shapes are going to transform into something 3D on my body. So look, it's all me this time. I'm about to go on about what a welt is, because in the sweater pattern it has welts on the side of a pocket. So it's got a pouch pocket here, there we go, and the edges of the pocket are welts. Now a welt is, I don't know why it's called a welt, there'll be a reason. It's an edging of fabric, a fabric strip that can edge a pocket, and the trousers I'm wearing have got welt pockets on the back, so you're now going to get a bum shot. Yay! So here you go, you can see the welt. This has got a welt at the top and a welt at the bottom. That's what a welt pocket is. It's that, oh, it's hard to get it in shot, I'm standing very strangely, but that is what a welt pocket is. Those are welts. And this sweater has welts at the sides of the pouch pocket in the front. So I'm going to show you the welt pocket process. It's step G in the instructions. We've got the welt, and then what you have to do is, this is the front of the sweater. So you have to fold the front up to the front. So very sunny today. And you fold the back, well, that's the pocket facing, which they say to make out of a different fabric, which I've done in the same fabric because mine's not too thick. So you fold them both up, and then here, this part is the welt, the pocket edge, and this part is the main fabric. You fold them all up, you will line them all up there, and then I've done this, pins this side. So I've just put a pin either way to secure it. I'll be eventually sewing at a right angle to where the seam will go. So the pin with the white head shows where the seam will go, and I'm going to be doing a line of stitching in the direction of the blue pin. And you do that at the top and the bottom of each welt, and that secures the edges in place. So this is the top, all the way up to where you sew up the side seams. This funny little weird, I don't know what it is, it's the inside of the pocket because there's a hem band that goes on, and I possibly think it's draping down a little bit much, but we shall see. I can always secure it slightly. The top of the pocket's about there. So the fit so far, not bad, but it's working out a little bit bigger than I would have liked at this stage. The sleeves, I shortened the sleeves by quite a lot, I think about 8 centimetres, and they still need a cuff on them. And I think that's probably, the cuff will probably take them to about the right length. I also shortened the body pieces by a little bit, and come to think of it, that might be partly, it is supposed to go beyond there, but I think we'll see when I put the hemband on. It's supposed to add about 8 centimetres, whether that covers this up or it probably encloses it. We'll see. So I'm going to try this seam back here. The underarm seam comes down and then it's slightly offset to the back, and I'm running my fingers down that seam, and we will see whether, if I sew that slightly narrower, especially here, whether that will change the fit. But that's as far as I've got at the moment, so there's my progress report for you. I do like the pattern, so I have bought some extra fabric to do the pattern again. And that's it. That's my progress for today. I have actually narrowed those side seams at the back, and I'll show you that in the next video when it will be finished, but it does seem to have helped a lot. I think also the fabric that I'm using is much drapier, much more fluid than the fabric that is intended for this pattern, so that's why it feels a little bit looser than it should, because the fabric shouldn't move as much as my fabric is. But I'm still happy with how it's working out, and as I said just now, I have bought some other fabric, so I'll just show you that. A little sneaky look at my new fabric. It totally didn't need any more fabric. Didn't even mean to buy any. It's actually really hard for me to get to a fabric shop, and yet I have managed to buy more fabric. Well done. So here it is. It's a fleece and it's super cozy. I bought this in real life at a shop called Just Sew, which is in Penrith, and is one of the few, well, to be honest, because I haven't lived here very long, 3 years, it's not that long. Okay, I've lived here 3 years, but I've only found one, count them, one fabric shop, dressmaking fabric shop. Oh, it makes me sad, but there you go. So I went there yesterday. I went there to buy something for my school sewing club and accidentally bought this at the same time. Ugh. Oh, terrible accidents can befall you. So it is so soft, look. Oh, it's so soft. And it's much stiffer, and it's kind of sweatshirt weight, and I'm going to make another iteration of the Jasper Sweater, maybe straight away, maybe make something in between, don't know, and that is my next plan. But hopefully I've made this video briefer, and hopefully you'll still be interested. Thank you very much for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, bye!